right, well, we will get started now, and thank you for joining us today at ElevaTech on our webinar on equipment configuration, structure management strategy with HxGN EAM. My name is Layla. I will be your moderator for today, and we shall get started. So just a little bit about me. I work in the sales and marketing team at ElevaTech. Like I said, I will be your moderator for today. Couple fun facts about me. Outside of work, I'm a big adventure person. Love to hike, run, swim, all that kind of stuff. I enjoy working with alongside my coworkers within the sales and marketing team here at ElevaTech. And yeah, that's a little bit about me. So our agenda for today, I will next be introducing our keynote speaker, Joe Catano. We're going to talk about what equipment is, what is a hierarchy, structure, why they're important, what is managing an equipment configuration, why that's important as well. And at the end, we're going to show you how we can help. And then we're going to do a 15-minute shop talk with Joe. We will have a Q&A portion at the end. You can put any comments or questions in the Q&A, and we will answer those at the end. And now I'm going to pass it along to our keynote speaker, Joe.
Thank you, Layla. Certainly a big topic for everyone and anyone that's out there trying to manage assets. And yes, it can actually be a mouthful, and I've tripped over my tongue many of times on certainly trying to get a handle on this. Just a little bit about me from project and an expertise perspective. Delivered well over 40 projects in North America, private and public. Over 30 different business types or verticals, and well over 75 asset types. So a little bit about my education. So over 25 years in the maintenance and reliability and engineering space, and certified project management, maintenance reliability, asset management assessor, and latest was in people change management, because they're pretty important to this. Just a little bit from ElevaTech, some value that we bring as a local resource to Southern Ontario. Certainly our years of knowledge in the space. We are a customer first, business first group that prioritizes what's important to our customer, and then extensive project management and people change management, and certainly our experience in solution implementations from end to end. So let's jump right in. So what is equipment in HxGN EAM? And this is the place where some folks, it might be foggy to them and their understanding and how to use them in purpose and in practice with HxGN EAM. And I think it's important to get started, because if anyone is managing a piece of equipment and they intend to digitalize it, they should know what to use and how to apply it to get the best value out. So let's start with locations. And locations and their purpose is very simple. It's physically where I find my equipment so that I can operate it or maintain it. Just very, very simple. The next one, which is a lot larger, is called a system. And a system, by its design, is the collection of subsystems, functional positions, assets, or sub-assets that work together to deliver and achieve an aspect with a process, such as a pumping system that is pumping water back and forth, or an HVAC system, which is moving air through an organization, a railway system, which may have a series of different pieces, components, and assets to ensure that it is able to have the rail rolling stock move back and forth. Okay. Positions, and this is one that I like to really spend some time on. Functional positions are those that contain assets that are performing their work, which then can at some stage be replaced and or rotated as needed. So similar to if we look at a pumping system, we'll have a functional position for a motor and a pump. Those will rotate as they go through their life. They need to be refurbished, replaced, repaired, possibly with other assets that rotate within that functional position. And then the biggest one is the asset itself. And really, when we talk about assets, the important part here is to recognize that these are generally physical, maintainable units. Keyword, physical and maintainable units. And it's generally the smallest tracking unit from a capital investment perspective. So pumps, valves, gearboxes, those are all very mechanical in nature, but you could have also linear asset like a roadway segment, subsurface pipeline, or a piece of rail. Those are the things that we plan to invest in. Those are the things that we maintain, operate, and utilize as we do what we do every day to bring the products and or services to our customers. So a little bit more on that. Here's a very, very simple drawing that can help support our conversation. You can see that a location is really a space where I can find it. The systems start to look at much larger composition of multiple assets and functional positions. And down on the right-hand side, we can see a position for a motor, a pump, a valve, and then essentially the assets themselves operating. And the keys here is I need to know where to find it so I can fix it. I know what effect it has when it goes down. I know all of the historical and current information that has happened, meaning I know exactly what I need to fix. Okay. So what is a hierarchical structure? So it's, again, a place where many folks sometimes have some challenges in putting these together, but let's simplify. And by simplifying, we generally get the best result. It's pretty simple. It's an asset hierarchy in nothing more than a logical index listing of all your maintainable equipment, from systems to subsystems to positions and subpositions or assets or even asset-to-asset relationship that form together to deliver an aspect. So you may have one very large manufacturing or a large rail corridor system that has many of these put together, and from end to end, it is all indexed and interconnected to form that aspect on what it delivers. So why is it important? When we apply these accurately, have the ability to now manage things like asset condition, use, and performance, all very critical in the life cycle management of our assets. Able to manage risk, because risk is a big part of everything and anything that happens in our world today, and knowing what's putting us at risk or saving us from risk is pretty important. Where to manage my investment. So it's important to know hierarchically where that investment is going to be placed, because the idea here is really to utilize investment properly and apply it at the correct investment point. Cost control, understanding exactly where those costs are. How do those costs affect day-to-day operations, total cost of ownership, and how they affect the bottom line. Planning and scheduling for maintenance and capital. Again, another big part of it, as we tend to invest and want to maintain so that we're getting and maximizing our uptime operation, right? The biggest one here is business intelligence, and certainly trending and different behaviors. When we connect the hierarchy together and it's connected correctly, it starts to gain traction and it starts to gain information. And the minute we have information, we become much more intelligent. We now can apply criteria or best practice standards against the information that's being generated in that hierarchy and really start to understand or differentiate if we are in a good place or if we need to make adjustments or possibly even seeing a deterioration in health of our assets, right? That'll in fact, start to get us to think about our investment, possibly changing the engineering of a specific aspect if we're not seeing the total value of that investment. So again, let's just keep it really simple. What's a hierarchical structure? On the left-hand side is just a very simple schematic on how HxGN manages it from an organizational department cost center down to systems, positions, assets that are located where we can find them. On the right-hand side is a bit more of a digitalized view out of HxGN EAM, where it shows our hierarchy displayed right down to one of the things that are most important for everyone, especially a maintainer, is down to the component level so that they have a good visual composition and they have all the information that they need when they need to maintain these equipment. So what is equipment configuration? An equipment configuration and asset management, it ensures the accuracy and the reliability of the information about equipment, their purpose, their design, engineering, and operating specifications that are represented in that hierarchical structure for its purpose and use. Now, HxGN EAM has a fantastic feature called equipment configuration, where all of these specifications are able to be configured, and that starts to apply the standard within asset management, naming convention, and hierarchy management. It's a fantastic feature. Most folks that are operating today adopt the feature and utilize that for the purpose of accuracy and consistency within the organization. Further to that, it starts to really lend itself to managing risk, managing condition, understanding its reliability, and certainly its performance. Some other very important pieces in most all operations or businesses, management of change. The management of change is a best practice that really controls the safety, the health, and the environmental risks and hazards that pertain to an organization as it makes change, as it changes its facilities or operations or personnel. And when we don't have equipment properly identified and we don't have it properly structured hierarchically, management of change becomes quite a challenge. And there isn't anything more important than managing that change to ensure that we don't have catastrophic failures, whether that be the asset or the equipment set failing, or somebody getting hurt as a result of a change, or possibly hurting the environment because we didn't change in a way under the management of change best practice to ensure that we were safe with the change. Pre-start reviews, another big important part of what we need to do, not only in the workplace, but what we need to ensure we do with equipment is to ensure that the health and safety and the operational aspects are all managed in order to keep all assets, whether they're human or physical or intellectual assets, safe and free from harm. The last one is your integrity programs, such as mechanical and spatial. Again, here, if we're running a mechanical integrity program, it's important that we identify and align with the philosophy and the standards of that integrity program, and spatial. If we're doing some spatial management through a GIS system, again here, maintaining that properly helps us with the accuracy and the currency of our information that supports everyone. So here's how we can help. Few options. Number one, you can certainly schedule some time with our certified solution consultants to support your needs. And again, our extensive experience will help you. We have a series of blueprints and templates that move you from where you are to where you want to be. And we work on transitional strategies that can enable you to get to the end goal. So I'm going to hand off to Layla and open up for some shop talk with me, kind of an open forum, whether it's for this topic or any other topic. Please help yourself, and I'd be glad to answer your questions and share experience that we have. I think you're on mute.
My apologies. Yeah,
okay.
as Joe said, we will have 15 minutes for any questions. Feel free to put them in the Q&A box, and I will be moderating them.